Hey everyone, how are you doing on this lovely day? I'm Makeda Balletta. I'm live on my Instagram page. I will save this and repost it to my YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, you don't follow me on IG, be sure you do, and vice versa. So I'm super happy today. I'm gonna be doing a happy dance all weekend and all week because I am so happy that Tory Lanez was found guilty. Okay. Hey people, I'm gonna roll my blunt while I talk because I have a lot to say. So, some of you may have seen my other videos on this. If you haven't, then be sure to check it out because I've done videos of Megan Thee Stallion. I've done at least 3 videos on her. Oh my God, this smells so good. This is a strain called Tangy. Very good cannabis strain. Oh, it's called Tangy, and look at me, I'm wearing tangerine colors. What a coincidence. I guess orange is the vibe today, right? So I just did a video a couple days ago about this trial, right? And do I have a website? I have one that's in the works. So I'm not going to repeat a lot of the things that I said in previous videos about this shit, right? But to me, this whole case has bothered me so much, okay? It has bothered me so much. And I speak about it in other videos, but I could immediately see, and I talk about this a lot. People who follow me, they know. I talk about how women who are showgirls, right? And to me, a showgirl is a woman who is half naked. She could be a lingerie model, a swimsuit model, a stripper, or a porn star, or just, any art model. Any woman who is showing her body a lot and standing in her sexuality and comfortable in her sexuality. Women like that get attacked a lot. It takes a lot to be that way. You know what I'm saying? Even with me, like, every single day there's every single day I get complimented, but every single day there's somebody who's trying to diss me because I'm on, Instagram dancing in a bikini or, showing my skin. There's always people who try to think that, like, I'm stupid because of it, or as a woman you're not worthy of certain things, right? But then it's hypocritical because everybody wants that. Chicks spend money and chicks damn near kill themselves trying to get that body. You know what I'm saying? Dudes spend money and do a whole lot of shit trying to get that body, okay? Like, actually, literally. You know what I'm saying? So it's just so hypocritical. But as a woman, at this point in my life, I remember when I was in my 20s. I remember when 2007, actually, okay? Something really traumatic happened to me that I said in 15 years, I will write a book about it and tell my story. And that time has passed. And so I feel like it's time for me to write a book. And watching what Megan went through gave me a lot of encouragement to do it because, I don't want to talk about certain things. A lot of times as a woman, you're misunderstood. I feel like I've been misunderstood a lot. Thankfully, I grew up very close to my dad, who always warned me about entitled men, assholes, like Tory. My dad has always warned me about that. So there are times that I've been around men that I feel like had that energy, but I could see it and get away from them before it turned into something horrible, right? But I've had things happen to me with men, but luckily nothing super horrible, right? There was a sexual assault issue I had in Chicago the first year I moved here. I told that in some videos a while ago that really pissed me off, So, I usually can see certain traits in a man, right? And there's a lot of dudes out here who are entitled and ungrateful assholes. Now, the way that people, tried so hard to demonize Megan, I kept seeing people who were saying, oh, her career is going to be over. Which is crazy because you have rappers out here who done gone to jail for murder, okay? Have whole murder charges and rape charges and beat chicks. and they're still on a pedestal, and their career isn't over. But yet, Megan, people kept saying her career was going to be over. And Megan at first lied, and people kept saying, oh, she lied. She lied and didn't say that she got shot because she was trying to protect his life. She said she was afraid because she didn't want him to get shot because black men were getting shot by the police so much at the time. And she's better than me because fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? And all these people out here who want to fight for prison reform, okay? Oh, the prisons are too rough. My fight for prison reform would be send more of their asses to prison, okay? Send more of their asses to prison. Apparently, enough people ain't in jail that should be in jail. And when people are like, oh, another black man's going to jail. First of all, if you look at Tory Lanez's story, right, and I always say this, you can tell a lot by speaking to school teachers, okay? Like, people will say that, you know, my school teacher told me I'll never amount to anything. First of all, most teachers don't even talk like that. But if a teacher does say that to you, it's probably for a good reason. Because every time you see somebody who grows up to be a little asshole, to be a murderer, to be a rapist, or do some fucked up shit, to be a school shooter, if you talk to their teachers, they will always tell you that they've been off, that they were problem children, okay? Always. This is even true with that dude in UVA that killed those football players, okay? He also had that past. But Tory Lanez was kicked out of school 130 times, okay? He was suspended 130 times. Like, you shouldn't be suspended once. If you're suspended once, you're a bad kid, okay? Me and my twin brother never got suspended from school, okay? So you got suspended from school 130 times. He got sent, all over the place to live with family members, and they couldn't deal with him. And then the last resort was his grandmother in Queens in 10th grade, and she couldn't deal with him, so he dropped out of school. There are folks way more evil and devious than Tory Lanez. Okay, what the fuck is your point? So, what's your point? What's your point? There's people way more evil and devious than the cops that shoot black men. And your point is what? So anyhow, Tory Lanez was raised by a very religious father, okay? His parents were like religious missionaries, okay? And if you follow me, you also know I don't get down with that religious shit. I feel like the most religious people are usually, the most hypocritical, do the most fucked up shit, okay? Whenever I see bad cases of child abuse, sexual abuse, a lot of times it be within religious households, okay? So his father was super religious, and so was his mother, okay? And then his mom died when he was 11 years old. And he had a stepmom. And if you saw outside the court, his father was going on this whole religious tirade, yelling and screaming like a fucking idiot. Now, people like him are a problem. If you hear me talk, I talk all the time about how lack of fathers is a problem, and how dudes that get caught up in dumb shit. I used to think just the girls that got caught up in dumb shit didn't have a dad, but I've noticed that dudes that get caught up in dumb shit, most of the dudes in prison and most of the dudes out here doing dumb shit, getting caught up in dumb shit, didn't have a dad present in their life. And if they did, he was a piece of shit, like Tory's, right? And why would Tory Lanez's father send him to New York to live with his grandmother? Like, if a father can't deal with his son, how the fuck is the grandmother going to deal with him? Please tell me that. An old woman. Okay? And all that religious shit you were raised with, okay? Your father outside the court yelling about God doesn't lose, and Tory's over here talking about his faith, and you over here a fucked up individual. Tory didn't just have a violent past with Megan. He has a violent past, period. Okay? Period. All right? And the dude acted like he's invincible. And if you also follow my work, you see that I've done a lot of videos about narcissists, okay? I've done videos about Kanye because he's a narcissist, but just narcissists in general. A lot of people think that a narcissist is somebody who's just like conceited and full of themselves. No. A narcissist is a serious personality disorder, and they always have really traumatic, fucked up childhoods, okay? And they usually have a mother or a father or both who didn't love them, or, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying everybody who had a traumatic childhood is a narcissist, but every narcissist had a traumatic childhood. Yeah, like, if you have a boy, like, I feel like a woman could raise a good man, right? Like, that's possible, but if you have a boy who is out of control, okay, a badass boy, there's nothing that his grandmother can do with him, okay? If his own father can't deal with him, how is his grandmother going to deal with him, okay? So this idiot dropped out of school in the 10th grade, all right? So with a history like that matters, okay? What doesn't matter is who Megan had sex with. So they want to bring up Megan's past of who she had sex with to frame her a certain way. Well, whereas like, who the fuck, whoever she fucked, what does that have to do with getting shot in the foot? But Tory, on the other hand, has a violent fucking past. He has a violent past in the industry that people know about. He just got in trouble with some shit with August Alsina, okay? But the dude was a motherfucking delinquent. I hate badass kids. Like, some people try to say there's no such thing as bad kids. No, there is, okay? And I remember when I was a kid, my dad told my brother and I, okay? He said to us very clearly, if you two do some dumb shit and get arrested and go to jail, okay, I am not going to come get your ass out. He said, your mom might come down there and get you out, but I'm not. I can't stand no badass kids. I'm making that clear. Now, if something happened where my dad thought that, you know, we were wrongly accused or something like that, yeah. Or, you know, we got caught up. But if you, sometimes you know your kids did some dumb shit. And my dad was like, I'm not going to, and he made it very clear, right? Like, I don't like no badass kids. I'm not supporting no badass kids. And if you are a badass kid and you go out here and do some dumb shit and go to jail, I'm not coming to get you. Now, Tory Lanez's father, right? Tory Lanez's father's out there yelling and shit outside the courthouse. He said it was the greatest injustice he'd ever seen in his life, okay? The greatest injustice he ever seen in his life was his son going to jail, okay? For 3 counts. He had a gun he wasn't even supposed to have. And you know that your badass son, okay, was so fucking bad growing up that you had to send his ass all over the place. He went from Florida to Atlanta to New York to Toronto. You just sent him all over the place. You couldn't deal with him. But then you're going to be in court yelling about that shit. Another thing. Narcissists, they use their kids as pawns. Tory Lanez bringing his son to court was so stupid. You were going to trial for being accused of shooting a chick. Why the fuck would you have your son in court? Why? I don't care if you're going to court for tax evasion. Your 6-year-old still shouldn't be there. You risking, you know what I'm saying? And then his son had to be, said his son was traumatized, started crying and shit when he got arrested. And the grandfather, Tory Lanez's father, is yelling and screaming. That's a problem. If that's not a generations of toxicity, generations of terrible fathers, okay? Fathers who are present, okay, but terrible fathers. And just creating more fucking little beasts like Tory. Okay? I don't like people that know that they have badass kids. You know you got a badass kid. And your son has a history of this shit his whole life. But now when something like this happens, you acting like he's a saint and this is blasphemy and this is crazy and you over here young. Man, fuck all of them. Okay? Somebody told me to be nice. This is nice, okay? So fuck all of that shit. All right? Tory should have been nice and not shot Megan. And it disgusts me how all these rappers, all I've lost respect for so many. I already lost a lot of respect for a lot of rappers. Okay, I'll talk about Biggie. People put him on the pedestal. He was a fucking woman beater. A lot of these dudes were. You have male rappers that got rape charges, murder charges. Okay, then beat the shit out of chicks, and people built plaques and statues of them. Okay. And, oh, don't let another black man go to jail. No, more of y'all need to go to jail because you know what? The problem with the hood, every single city in America that has a high murder rate, you know why? It's because of black people, especially black men shooting up the hood. Okay? And then, y'all be on a no snitch shit all the time. And then, these black people want to be, we're not all like that. No, we're not all like that. But how hypocritical it is to like, I haven't even done a video about this black and Jewish situation. That's something I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. But it's a waste of time for black people to sit away. I don't care what you say about me being nice with Tory. Go suck Tory's dick and shut the fuck up, okay? Honestly. So, For black people to act like Jews are their our problem in life that we need to be fighting is ridiculous. Okay, there might be some Jews who are screwed up, but there's a lot who are not. Just like there are some black people who are fucking criminals, but there's a lot who are not. We don't want to all be put in one basket, right? So we shouldn't do that to other people. And that's just accurate, right? Let's just deal with facts and history and accuracy. So all these male rappers, and then a lot of them who have kids, they have daughters. You got Benzino talking shit. You got a daughter. Coi Leray, you have a daughter who's a female rapper. Something can happen to your daughter. Since your daughter's a rapper and people keep saying being a rapper is the most dangerous job, which I don't agree with. I just think a lot of these male rappers be doing dumb shit. That's why they get shot. They be caught up in dumb shit. Okay? If you get caught up in dumb shit, whether you're a rapper or not a rapper, you could get shot. Okay? But people also know that something very shady happens with some of these rappers too when they get shot. Like, what the fuck happened with Takeoff? Offset and Quavo, they haven't said anything about who shot him. Takeoff was around Jay Prince's son in Houston. Right? And you know what? The record label that Megan left, 1501, which is run by that idiot Carl Crawford, which I can't believe Evelyn Lozada had a son with him. Oh my God, no. Oh my God, no. So, reproducing with that idiot? Okay, Carl Crawford and then Jay Prince associated with that label. Jay Prince started throwing threats at Megan from the time she went with Rock Nation, okay, with Jay-Z. When that guilty verdict came out yesterday, Tory's father was yelling about Jay-Z and Rock Nation. What does Jay-Z and Rock Nation have to do with the fact that Tory shot her in the foot? Though, anyway. You know what I'm saying? So maybe, since we say that hip-hop, being a rapper is the most dangerous job, maybe they were trying to do something to Megan. We know that people got insurance policies on artists, and they got all kinds of business reasons why they want to take a rapper out. Maybe he was put up to it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things. But I'm just saying, female rappers are rappers too. Okay? They're part of hip-hop too. And the fact that Megan felt so much that she has to protect black men that she couldn't call the police or tell the police that, what actually happened because she was afraid for his life. You know what I'm saying? There's not that much. Black men are not protecting us like that on that level. And I mean as a general statement. Okay? I'm not saying there are individual black men who do, because I know black men who do. And my own father does. Right? But as a general statement, most black men are not that concerned. Okay? It is so ingrained. It is so ingrained into black women to protect black men. Okay? Because we know how hard it is being a black man. And black men, they have the roll on their shoulders. And black men this and black men that. But that shit's been taken too far. A lot of black men are using that shit as an excuse. They do some bitch ass shit like that fucking pastor in Brooklyn, okay, who is in got fraud charges, and he's like, oh, they only arrested me because I'm a black man. Dude, shut the fuck up. Pulling that every black man is a victim card is ridiculous. Okay? They even got pulled with OJ I don't care what anybody says. I definitely believe OJ murdered Nicole Simpson. Okay? So I'm just saying, and then there's still male privilege because OJ murdered a white woman, right? OJ murdered a white woman, and somebody could think a white woman has a higher status than a black man, right? But not when the black man is rich and athlete. Everybody loves their athletes. These male athletes, not the females, okay? Because Brittany Griner, whew, the way that the hate that I saw get thrown at Brittany Griner, and the hate that I saw getting thrown at Megan, that shit don't happen with dudes. Okay? When Brittany Griner got out, I saw a lot of people discussing whether her life was worth it or not. People were saying, oh, she's not worth this. She's not worth that. She's not worth the arms dealer. She's not worth blah, 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 blah. And I did videos about Brittany Griner too, because I actually research and look up facts and read before I speak on shit. A lot of people do not research, they do not read, and they do not fact check. But the laws in Russia, for the amount of weed that Brittany Griner had on her, it only called for 15 days in detention and a fine. It did not call for a 9-year sentence or even a year or even months in prison. Okay? You'd have a much larger quantity for that. She didn't have that. So she was being unlawfully detained to begin with. A lot of people were like, oh, she's stupid. You know, she shouldn't have brought drugs in the country. And they were saying that she's a drug smuggler. She had a very small amount of cannabis oil. A lot of you don't want to believe it and you think it's a joke. That, and I'm talking about this as I smoke on my strain Tangy, okay? A lot of people think that cannabis being medicine is a joke. And they joke about it. And oh, so-and-so's just a pothead. Oh, they're just a weed head. Or da-da-da-da-da. Some of you may or may not know that I'm currently working on a master's degree, a Master of Science in Medical Cannabis Science and Therapeutics at the University of Maryland School of Pharmacy, okay? School of Pharmacy, in the pharmacy school, okay? There would not be a master's degree in the School of Pharmacy if cannabis didn't have many documented medicinal applications, okay? And for those of you who are interested in learning more about that, you can check out my other videos where I talk about that. You can check the books I post on my pages, whatever, okay? And you just look it up, okay? There's endless history and documentation, okay? So, and I do have a background in exercise and sports science. I'm also a sports nutritionist. I'm also a strength and conditioning coach, okay? And I once wanted to go into sports medicine, but I didn't want to. What stopped me was I didn't want to drug up athletes. I'm about high-level performance. You know, really, I've committed my life to studying all the ways that we could take our bodies to the highest level. High-level performance, not just aesthetics, but performance. What the fuck can you do, okay? And so that that coincides with injury, like recovering from it. Preventing injuries, that's my specialty, is preventing injury. But sports medicine, athletic trainers, theirs is recovering from the injury, okay? I do post-physical therapy, post-rehab, okay? My real focus is prevention, okay? And they're kind of similar but different, all right? So the prevention side also comes into the performance side. How can you run faster, jump higher, run longer, throw harder, okay? Accelerate faster. How can you perform, increase your performance skills, okay? Which also comes with decreasing injury, because if you tear your hamstring, you can't run fast. So if you're training to run as fast as you can't have a torn hamstring. And the training you do to prevent your hamstring from being torn is also what you're doing to strengthen your hamstring, which will then in turn help you run faster, right? So that's what strength and conditioning is. Strength and conditioning is designing workouts in the weight room for athletes, okay? Not what they do at practice with their coaches, okay? The coach teaches them the skills of the game, where you run and play, stuff like that. The strength and conditioning coach designs workouts in the weight room to help increase performance and decrease injury, right? So we look at the common physiological demands and biomechanical demands of that sport, that position, okay? Like, you know, in the common injuries, okay, so a baseball pitcher, they're putting, you know, the baseball pitch sends so much force, spiraling force through your bones. You can break your arm throwing a baseball pitch, right? So if you're a baseball pitcher, you want to have longevity. You want to be able to pitch fast, good pitches for as many years as possible. So that means you have to strengthen these muscles so you can keep pitching hard, right? But if you want to keep pitching hard for years, you have to prevent getting injured. They're interlinked, right? And so there's a fine science behind the loads, the exercises that are prescribed, the intensity, the rest time, all of that. And it's called periodization. And it's matched up with whether you're off season, in season, championship. Like, nobody's in peak condition all the time. So if you are an athlete, you're a high level athlete, and you have to perform on certain days. Certain days you have important games. So nobody is at 100% every single day. But if you're an athlete, You have to be, or you might be a performing artist like a Beyonce. You have to be in your peak on these days when you have competitions, when you have performances, right? So there's a science behind the training that happens, the rest that happens, the ratios, the types of exercises that are done to help achieve that. So that is my specialty, right? And I really didn't like how sports medicine doctors drug up athletes, okay? I was drugged up as a track athlete in college, and that's when I first learned about how toxic NSAIDs are, which are non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs that a lot of people take. I don't take antibiotics. I don't take NSAIDs. I don't take fucking Tylenol for my headaches. I don't do that shit, okay? I use natural things. But cannabis is very, very good for athletes, okay? It's a very potent anti-inflammatory, okay, which replaces NSAIDs. NSAIDs are non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs that are used for inflammation, but they are highly toxic, okay, highly toxic, okay, it can cause ulcers and all kinds of problems. So cannabis can be used to replace that. It also helps with neurogenesis, which is, developing more brain cells and regenerating the brain, okay? And so if you have athletes who are being hit in the head, they have head trauma, okay? Cannabis can help with that, all right? Then, you got, or for pain, okay? That's another thing. There's people that have, they might have had surgery or they have some kind of injury, and taking the NSAIDs and the opioids and all that stuff, that shit is bad, right? So there are people who are being prescribed cannabis medicinally, especially athletes. There's a lot of athletes, okay? A lot of your favorite athletes were using cannabis when it wasn't legal to prescribe medicinally, okay? So many athletes across many sports consume cannabis, all right? So for her to say, Brittany Griner, that she forgot, that she didn't know it was in her bag, and people didn't believe that. Like, I travel a lot. There are plenty of times that I've gotten someplace and there was something in my bag that I didn't even realize was in my bag, because you're just moving fast, especially when you travel a lot. But even when you're not, like, something can be in your bag that you forgot. Like, that happens, okay? That's number one, okay? And she had a very small amount in her. She wasn't drug smuggling. And the dude, the arms dealer that got out, okay, that got swapped, he was about to get out in 5 years, okay, anyway. Secondly, the judge who locked up, the judge who sentenced that arms dealer to 25 years, she said that she didn't believe that he deserved 25 years, okay, because she said that at the time that this happened, this dude was in retirement. He wasn't even bothering anybody. And the U.S. government sought him out and lured him back into it, okay, and then brought these charges against him. And he, the U.S. has ways of tracking people. You're back over there. He was selling guns to people like in Afghanistan and shit. Like, what does that have to do with our everyday life? There are arms dealers right here in the hoods of all these cities. All these cities, okay? You got people running amok, shooting up shit, shooting up people's kids, people's mothers, the wrong motherfucking people, okay? What about those arm dealers? But no, because in the hood, people want to be on some no snitch shit and all this dumb hood rat bullshit, okay? So it's hypocritical. But then you have all this, smoke for Britney, and oh, she didn't deserve it, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? Now, and also, people keep bringing up this dude, Paul Whelan, who was an ex-Marine. This dude had a dishonorable discharge, okay, from the Marines, so he's no longer Marines. But a dishonorable discharge is no bueno, okay? And apparently for stealing like $10,000 from the military and other shit, he has citizenship in like 4 or 5 countries. He's a Canadian citizen. I think he's in 2 other European countries. I don't remember the countries now, but Canada was one of them. Maybe another one might have been France. I don't know. But he has 4 passports, okay? And they all been trying to get his ass out. Putin offered him to Trump for the arms dealer years ago, and Trump didn't want him. That arms dealer's value had decreased a lot because he's about to get out of jail in 5 years. But whatever, all the hate that was thrown at Britney, it really disgusted me. People saying, oh, she's a man. And they say the same thing about Meghan. People would say, oh, she's a man, she's a man, she's a man. People were saying, oh, Meghan is so aggressive when she drinks. First of all, If you look at any of the videos when Megan was drinking a lot, and there was a time when she was drinking a lot, she was never aggressive. She was always that turn-up girl. She was twerking, she was laughing, she was having fun, she was everybody's friend. Okay, and I remember looking at her then and thinking, she's way too friendly. Like, I would love that life. There was a time in my life when I had a bunch of friends everywhere, and I'm in different cities, and I have all these so-called friends, okay? And I'm being good to them. I'm just trying to be, and a lot of those people, men and women, okay? Men and women, be turned into my biggest enemy. That they were like secretly really fucking hating. It's crazy. And when you're not a jealous person, when you don't think like that, when you just want to have fun and you just want to, encourage people, you don't think that these people around you are jealous of you, because they might be dope. They might be beautiful. Why would they be jealous of me? You know what I'm saying? I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have this. You know what I'm saying? They might have it. So why would they be jealous of me? That's how you think. But shit ain't that logical. There's people who hate the shit out of you, and they would be so close to you. All up in your face, like they're your friend. Or dudes who have sex with women who I did not know there were men who have sex with women that they hate. Until I heard a conversation on Clubhouse where there was some dudes who were explaining that, yeah, sometimes dudes have sex with women that they hate because they look at it like, I guess, some kind of conquering thing. Or they conquered her, or they controlled her. I don't know. I just know that I don't look at sex like that. Like, if I have sex with somebody, I'm not looking at it like, oh, I'm trying to conquer them. Okay? Even if they might have lost their mind, and even if they themselves said some shit like that to me, I have never had a mindset of I'm trying to conquer you or control you or anything like that. I don't have that. Something is wrong with your fucking mind in the first place if you think like that. But I definitely can't have sex with somebody if I don't like you. Even if, like, there's people who I might have had sex with and we had great sex and they were cool, but then something happened and I really didn't like this person. They came at me sideways. They did some fucked up shit. I can't fuck with you anymore. Like, I don't care that the sex was good, whatever. I can't. If I don't like you as a person, there's no way I can have sex with you. Right? And so, but I learned a lot of men aren't like that. So, for someone like Megan to be like, I can't believe that I shared my body with a dude who would shoot me. I've had that feeling before. Okay? I have had that feeling before. I've had that feeling with men and women, actually. Okay? There are women like, whew, I mean, especially in the situations where there are times in my life where I've been sexual with women or been sexual with a man who, they were more attracted to me than I was attracted to them. Let me say that. Let me say I might have just been trying to be nice at the moment. Like, oh, this person is nice. And, people have sex for different reasons. Some people have sex because they are in love. Some people have sex because they want to reproduce. Some people have sex just because they want to feel really good right now. Some people have sex on some friendship shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. There's a lot of different reasons. Some people have sex for money. There's a lot of different reasons why people have sex, right? But, like, for me, like, there are times when, like, I just remember a chick that, like, years ago, I did not find her attractive. She found me really attractive. She really wasn't my type. But I felt, it's kind of complicated without getting too much into my life. But I guess things happen to tell them. But I just remember, there was a dude that I was in a relationship with at the time, and we were open. And his taste in women was not my taste in women at all. I feel like he had really bad taste. I definitely have good taste. And this chick was somebody who was cool. I thought she was cool, right? Did not find her attractive in any shape, sensitive, form. And, like, I'm thinking to myself, how far should I go with the details of this story? Let me just wheel it back because I don't want to get too mean to people. But I just remember I had a level of sympathy and empathy for her, okay? Let me say that, for some shit that she went through, some stuff, right? And so, for me, it was really coming from, like, a healing place, because sex and sexual energy can also be healing as well, right? And so, it was really coming from a healing place of, like, using sexual energy as healing energy, but I really wasn't attracted to the chick. But I had, good intentions and love in my heart, okay? And I could say I definitely pleased her. Like, she was not somebody that could please me physically or visually, okay? Now, after the fact, and now that I'm telling the story, other things are coming up in my mind of like chicks and dudes, okay, that I was like really fucking good to, and they just turned into like my worst fucking enemy. Like, what the fuck is your problem? And they're like jealous of some shit. You know what I'm saying? So without even, I could tell stories for like hours about things in my life that has happened. But so I'm just saying that I totally see this in the situation with Megan. Like the shock of, first of all, I don't talk about who I have sex with, right? It's nobody's business. You know what I'm saying? I'm the same way. You know, never been that type of person and most women don't. And I'm not tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I mess with you and, you know, we're not together or nothing, like, we messed around, you might mess around with that chick, you flirt with that chick in front of me, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not together. You know what I'm saying? And some people want you to care. Some people like that drama. And Tory definitely seemed like one of those people because he's the one that brought the shit up that in front of Megan's friend. And to say that, like, Megan's not a good friend because she messed with Tory is like, dude, Tory was a grown-ass man that could do whatever he wants with his body. Her friend Kelsey didn't own Tory's body. If Tory fucked with Megan, it's because that's what he wanted to do. He wasn't in a relationship with Kelsey. Kelsey had a crush on him. So that's just the most juvenile, stupid shit. That's just ridiculous, okay? It seems like Tory was somebody who likes to stir up shit and like to stir up drama, okay? And he's an asshole. And apparently, I think they said the rapper Dream Doll, and then I heard the mother of his son also accused him of being like overly aggressive or whatever. But he has, like I said, a long history of the shit. Got kicked out of school 130 times and dropped out in the 10th grade. I'm sorry, but high school dropouts don't get props to me, okay? Like, if you can't finish high school is basic as fuck. And if your own father can't deal with you, and then you grew up in all that, your father sending you to all these different, how your father sending you to your grandmother? How is your father can't deal with you, but your grandmother can? Tell me the logic in that. You're being sent to all these family members, and getting kicked out of school, drop out, you're little as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then you have someone like Megan, who she's playful, okay? She's always encouraging people. From the very time that Megan came out, she was doing positive shit. She was in college, okay? She didn't drop out of school in the 10th grade, okay? She was in college. And even though she was a star, and she was busy, and she was on tour and actually performing, because Tory and a lot of these male rappers, they don't do shit when they perform. Megan, like when you're a girl and you got to be on stage, you got to be pretty. Your hair got to be done, your makeup, your outfits, you half naked, your body got to be right. Now you have to come out and do some choreography. Megan's doing what she's doing with her ass and shaking, doing all that. You putting on a show. That's a lot more difficult than just being a male rapper and coming out with just some clothes and fucking standing in place and talking. Okay? So, putting on shows, college student, of healthcare administration, or something like that. And she said that she kept saying she wanted to open up like healthcare facilities for like low income people or like the elderly in her town, in her city. That's very commendable. Okay? And then her mother had just died. And she said that one of the reasons why she connected with Tory was because he lost his mom. Okay? That's a trauma bond. Okay? She's like, oh, this little dude, he's nice, he's funny. Sometimes when a man can make a woman laugh, like, there's some little dudes that I've messed with in my life that, you know, they were cool. They might have been a good friend. They were funny. And maybe they wore me down a couple times. And it's like, all right, you know, but, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's no biggie. Like, the fact that, I'm sorry, my brain is just like, just, it's like I can just, yeah, she is out here just like, you know, trying to be friends with everybody. Megan didn't want to be involved in any beef because when she first really started coming out, Cardi and Nicki were beefing. She didn't want to get involved in that. Megan was friends with everybody. High school ain't everybody. It just ain't. It's only basic when you're mentally prepared for it. Yeah, I feel like it's only basic if you have some level of intelligence. I'm sorry. If you cannot finish high school, something is wrong with you. I'm sorry. Like, it's one thing if this was like 1950, okay, and 1930, and people like would only go to the 7th grade and then they would work and take care of their family. But now you should finish high school, okay? There's no excuses for that. And when you're a fuck up like Tory was and got suspended 130 times, okay? Somebody that got suspended from high school 130 times is somebody who sounds like it's obvious they're bound for jail. It's obvious that somebody who got suspended from school 130 times, what would you expect them to, where would you expect them to go but jail? And Tory should have been in jail. Tory's been doing shit. He just had an ankle bracelet on his motherfucking ankle because of this shit with August Alsina or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Where is Megan's history of being violent? But everybody's saying, oh, Megan is so mean and aggressive. And Megan was probably beating him up. And Megan was a man. A lot of people called her a man. First of all, a man's ass and a woman's ass is not the same. A man, I don't care how much a man tries to twerk. I don't care how much he tries to do whatever he wants to do with his ass. A man's ass does not do what a woman's ass does. Okay? Megan is definitely a woman. People are trying to, because she's tall and she's big. Oh, she's a man. Oh, she's aggressive. You can't find one video of Megan being aggressive. You can find her drinking and having fun and trying to be friends with everybody, which is like naive, but she's in her early 20s. You know what I'm saying? And was out here alone in this world. And this shit happened during COVID too. This was like July 2020. So I'm just saying, like, it just the level of it's like all this religious propaganda is so much in people's head that they just see a woman who's sexual and standing up in her sexuality and comfortable in her skin, and everybody wants to, you know, and intelligent and outspoken, but always respectful. And she's aggressive. She deserves, you know, that to happen. She's a liar. And Megan didn't want to say anything because she was concerned about the black man and the police doing something to him. But the black community leans so much towards the black man and the problems of the black man that they just don't care what happens with the black woman. There are black men who rape black women. Like when people say, oh, the white man raped black women. A lot of black men rape black women too, okay? Like, a lot of you guys don't read, like I said, okay? But yeah, a lot of and so it's like, if a black man rapes a black woman, if a black man is molesting somebody's daughter, if a black man killed this woman, whatever, like, so now we're not supposed to talk about it because it was a black man. But if it was a white man, then we could talk about it. Same thing with black men that get killed by other black men. A lot of the black community doesn't come out. There was no Black Lives Matter protest when black people were dying in the hands of other black men. That shit happens every damn day in the hood, okay? All these hoods in America. In some hood in America, somebody's dying every day, okay? And no outrage and protesting about that. But when a white man kills a black man, all hell breaks loose. When actually, if you look at the numbers, the amount of black men who are killed by white men, whether it be cops or whatever, is statistically insignificant compared to the amount of black men that get killed by other black men. Okay? I know black men that have been killed by black men. I don't know any black men that's been killed by the police. I don't know any black men that's been killed by white men. I know black men that have been killed by black men. Okay? So, how was that true? But then also, every black man's a victim. Oh, he's innocent. Oh, they just arrested me because I'm a black man. They just did this because I'm a black man. That's a problem. And it's a problem if other black men who have enough sense, you know, don't hold these men accountable. Because to any man who has a daughter, who is defending Tory, cracking jokes, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Because my dad is the one who warned me about men like that. Okay? My dad said to me, when I was a young woman, okay, he said to me, don't feel like because you're a woman you can't be sexual. But just understand, there are a lot of crazy ass men out here in this world that could be watching you. Every day you're going to work, minding your business, and this man is intimidated by beautiful, smart, free-thinking, independent woman, and he decides to attack you because he can't have you. He feels like he can't have you. My dad said this happens to women every single day. So all of my life, my dad has wanted me to know how to protect myself. It's always been extremely important, okay? It's always been extremely important. And so it wasn't like, oh, sit down and be quiet, you know. No, but it's like, yo, be a woman. Be a woman in all that being a woman is, all right? But know how to protect yourself and watch out for these fucking types of dudes. You know what I'm saying? And Megan's father died. I don't know how old she was when her father died. I don't know if her father really got a chance to impart those things onto her, okay? And that kind of stuff doesn't come from your mom. I grew up with both of my parents in the house, okay? I grew up very close to both of my parents. But my dad is the one who gave me those lessons about men, about how to protect myself, about how to be wary of certain type of dudes. You know what I'm saying? My dad, like honestly, when I think about it, my mom never talked to me about those things. Like she never said, oh, you know, get with this kind of dude or whatever kind of dude. My dad, when I was a little girl, said to me, like, yeah, I prefer you marry a black man, but that's not my number one concern. My number one concern is that whatever man you're with is just as crazy about you as I am. So I'd rather be with a white or Asian dude that treats you good than be with a black man who treats you like shit. That's my number one thing. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, because there's some people who they want their daughter to be with somebody from their race or their country or their little ethnic group so bad that they don't care that their daughter's getting abused. Okay? I've seen that a lot. You know, women who are in miserable marriages, you know, being abused in all kinds of ways, and their mothers encourage them to stay with this man. You know what I'm saying? Like, having a standard of how you're being treated. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm definitely not letting a dude touch me that's disrespectful. But sometimes that shit doesn't happen until after the fact. Okay? And so this whole demonizing Megan because she was sexual with Tory, that has nothing to do. Okay, so she was sexual with him. Why the fuck did she get shot in the foot? And all these people cracking jokes. All these people cracking jokes like this shit was funny. But when these men get shot, these men would bitch up so quick if people were making fun of them getting shot. Because a lot of these black dudes, especially these rappers, a lot of them get shot doing stupid ass shit. I don't see nobody cracking no jokes. I don't see anybody saying he deserved it. Why the fuck was he in that hood? Why the fuck was he around those people? I mean, to me, even when I think about Tupac, I think about somebody who didn't have a lot of good judgment at all. Like, people put Tupac on this pedestal like he was so deep, and no. You weren't even a West Coast dude. That shit is fake. You were from the East Coast. You ran around with a West Coast crew. A fucking record label called Death Row. Like, how fucking ghetto hood, retarded hood rat shit is that? The name of these record labels, Death Row. All of that's cool though. But a black woman twerking, going to college, trying to be everybody's friend, and talking about sex. Oh, that's horrible. We can't support that. She's just guilty of everything, even when she's a victim. The hypocrisy is so stupid, it's embarrassing. I know Tupac was a young man, and Megan's a young woman. Yeah, a lot of people can be young and dumb. But Tupac was being something he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times people think of Tupac like he was a West Coast rapper. Dude wasn't from the fucking West Coast. Okay? Then, he wasn't no thug. Running around thug life and with death row and shit when you wasn't even that for real. You know what I'm saying? Then, he said, when he got shot in New York, he said he never thought he would get shot by another black man. And it's like, what kind of stupid ass shit is that? Like, didn't you live in Baltimore? Being in LA, black men shoot each other all the time. Like, how could you not think you would get shot by another black man when black men shoot each other all the time? That's what that was rapping about back then, too. So, do you have, like, and he didn't have a dad. Sometimes I tell you, Biggie didn't have a dad. A lot of these people that get caught up in the dumb shit, they don't fucking have a father. Okay? But Megan's dumb shit wasn't running around trying to be thug life, okay? She was running around just twerking, trying to have fun and being a young girl, which you should be when you're young. And being sexual with people, great. There's nothing wrong with sex. We're sexual beings. We all come from sex. We should all love it. If you don't love it, something's wrong with you. You know? And if you don't have good sex in your life, I feel sorry for you, okay? But that doesn't mean that anybody deserves to be condemned, especially when you have two consenting adults. Nobody was sleeping with anybody's spouse or anything like that. Now, this chick, Kelsey, had a baby and got married to somebody who works with 1501 Entertainment, which Jay Prince and Carl Crawford are attached to, the label that Megan left, because Megan said the contracts are fucked up and she went with Rock Nation. And they're like, oh, she's fucked up. But that happens in the music industry. And we do know a lot of people have bad contracts. But even if somebody leaves a contract and you feel like it's unjust, everybody got a story about that. Everybody got a story about an artist who did them wrong to try to leave a contract. And every artist got a story about trying to leave a fucking contract because they were trying to get them. And we all know about all the artists that went bankrupt in the 90s and all of that. Megan's mom was there helping her. Then she passed away. Megan became a big star. She got with Rock Nation. And now these street hooligans, okay, because a lot of these dudes in hip-hop, that's what the fuck they are. They want to be coming after her. You know what I'm saying? And now Megan's about to go to court in January with Carl Crawford from 1501. So I'm just saying, I was so happy. So happy yesterday when I saw that guilty in all 3 charges. I am so happy that this little fucking piece of shit is going to prison, okay? He is going to prison. Yay, 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 and more yay. I'm going to shake my ass all day, tomorrow, through the new year in celebration of this shit. My heart really went out to Megan. I get tired of excuses for these dudes, okay? I really do. And Megan is somebody that is so dope and great on so many levels. And it just shows how much, especially within the black community, the black community is so retarded and behind when it comes to sexuality. Like even HBCUs. I didn't go to an HBCU, but I remember just thinking like, my twin brother did, a lot of people in my family did, there are rules with, oh, girls can't go in the boys' dorm and all this extra rules and shit. You know, I went to a white university, like a regular university, and we didn't have that. And people weren't like, I remember like my brother's campus, people were like getting pregnant on campus, and people weren't even getting pregnant at my school. But like, we didn't have, it's just like the religious, biblical, Christian stuff that they take too seriously. And then they're super judgmental, okay? Super judgmental. But the people who be super judgmental when it comes to sex, a lot of times be on some perverted shit, on some deviant shit. God, you know, it's just like, whatever. I'm just saying, it ain't that motherfucking serious. It's not that serious, okay? We are sexual beings. People love to talk about how Africans were and these people were. If you any group of people who were undisturbed, okay, If you find a tribe somewhere, you know, that wasn't colonized and they didn't bring the Bible or the Quran or something, they have a lot more sex, a lot more freely, with a lot less, you know, fucking, it's not that serious. You know what I'm saying? We eat, we sleep, go to the bathroom, and we have sex, okay? So, I've said what I'm needed to say. I'm just super happy. I'm super disgusted at a lot of these dudes and chicks, okay? Because I saw certain chicks the whole time. Oh, Megan's lying, Megan's lying, Megan's lying. What did Megan lie about? Megan lied about having sex with Tory when Gayle King asked her. But not under oath, she wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Tory Lanez then paid off the fucking, you know, the attorney for Kelsey, who got up there. Kelsey told Megan's bodyguard that Tory shot Megan. She sent a text message. Megan's bodyguard went missing, didn't come to court. Kelsey said she didn't know why she sent that. What do you mean you didn't know why you sent that? Nobody sent a text message to somebody saying so-and-so shot Megan, and they don't know why they did that. You know what I'm saying? This chick got up there and lied. She's married to somebody from 1501. I mean, who the fuck? Are people stupid? How the fuck, when you look at those facts, do you get Megan is lying out of that? How? And Tory never took the stand. So, if you believed that Tory was innocent, you were absolutely stupid. Period. And I heard people speaking on it that was like, oh, I didn't really look at the oh yeah, that's why you shouldn't speak on shit until you actually fact check and do a little research. But if you did fact check and do research and you come up with the conclusion that Megan somehow deserved to get shot, or that she's somehow lying when they found bullet fragments in her foot and they said that she still has bullet fragments in her foot. Bullet fragments, but she was lying. Tory, who has a long history of violence against men and women. Long history. Kelsey doesn't. Megan doesn't. So I'm just saying, are people that slow? Do people really lack critical thinking skills? I mean, I know a lot of people don't really have critical thinking skills, but is it that bad? Or do people just want to put these male rappers and athletes on the pedestal so much that you just turn a blind eye to everything? They did it with the preachers too. That's why they don't want to believe, oh, this person is not molesting my child or whatever. And like, you got all these people out here getting molested. And parents is naive as fuck. Like, wake the fuck up and pay attention. Observe the obvious. A Native American proverb. Observe the obvious. Observe the obvious. Okay? All right. Yeah, what kind of man pulls a gun on a woman other than lame? Exactly. And Tory Lanez had a long history of that shit. And his father outside the courthouse yelling about God doesn't lose. And this is the most, he said, this is the most unfair, unjust thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Saying something like that in this situation shows you the toxicity and the ignorance that Tory comes from. And all that shit, his father's a pastor. He comes from a religious family. They have all these fucking kids in the court. All these kids crying. Why would you bring a bunch of kids to that? And they're all crying. So yeah, okay, Tory's a motherfucking problem. And let him be in prison so the big boys can work that problem out. All right? So I hope you guys have a good day and have a good holiday. And I'll talk to you later. And yay for Megan. Bye.